with that, the opportunity here is for us to connect. The opportunity is for us to have friendly conversation. There's an opportunity for us to give some professional advice about some things, right? But today is a wonderful opportunity to get you guys to meet my good friend, Beverly Brown. And for us to talk today about, goals.
Yes, beginning of the year.
Right at the beginning of the year, we start talking about goals. And so, yeah, if you are here joining us on Facebook, thank you so much. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties, but a lot has changed in technology over the past year or so. So we're just getting it together. With the intention of being here in a positive space with you on this Sunday morning. So thank you so much. My name is Ray Carr. I am a hypnotherapist, and I would like to introduce Ms. Beverly Brown today, and then we'll kind of get rolling and get into the groove of what it is that we're here to talk about. Hey, Beverly, how are you
Good
on this Sunday?
morning. I'm doing well. I'm very excited about this, about being a part of the Let's See Who My Friends Are and sharing how wonderful it is for our lives to be able to change and get better, and how that flow doesn't always have to be difficult. that there's an ease to it sometimes if we know how to make it easy. Let me tell you who I am. My name is Beverly Brown. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in Florida and Georgia. I'm also a certified hypnotherapist, and I am a certified core transformation coach. And core transformation helps us change unwanted behaviors, thoughts, and beliefs in a way that's very gentle and very easy.
Perfect. That's awesome. And welcome. Thank you so much, Beverly, for agreeing to and taking this on with me, right?
Yes.
My name is Ray Carr. For those who don't know me, for those that will, that are now meeting me, my name is Ray Carr. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. What I do is I help people to achieve the goals that they set, realizing that a lot of times the obstacles, not a lot of times, all of the time, the obstacles to our goals are within our mind space. And what I do is with hypnosis, help my clients to overcome some of those obstacles. My specialty and what I love to do is quantum healing hypnotherapy technique, right? Which allows us to not just look at the mind, but look at spirit, to look at, what our spiritual makeup is in this world and how that pertains to our goals and the things that we want to accomplish, how that pertains to our body and the healing that we desire, how that pertains to our mind and the healing and the peace that we desire. So Beverly, how long have you been in mental health? Let's talk a little bit about that.
I have been practicing mental health since 2004. It is a love. I think that we go through so many different things in our lives, and my route to mental health was no different than any other therapist. I'm trying to figure out how to work this stuff out. That's how most of us get here. I think what makes my journey different is that when I got to just basic mental health, I was immediately introduced to a trauma recovery that used hypnosis, and it opened up a whole different world experience in my life. It got me back to some goals that I didn't even know were really attainable, things that I had wanted and then decided I just couldn't have. Because the world didn't look like it would give them to me. But when I learned how to reach down within and access the tools or connect with that core part of myself, it made my goals easier to attain, not less work. We tend to think that easier means less work.
Yeah.
But easier doesn't mean less work. It most times means less personal struggle.
Perfect. Perfect. That's why Beverly is like my favorite therapist around, right? One, because she's also a hypnotherapist. Not to pump myself up, but the realization that a lot of clients that I encounter, what they say, and also what has been my experience is that, we see a therapist, we go to a therapist, but typically we end up looking for something deeper, something that really gets to the core of who it is that we are. And hypnosis and the practice of getting to the subconscious mind has really been beneficial for myself, and also beneficial to helping, clients move past what they know is wrong, right? What they know is an issue, what they know is a roadblock. But the service definitely helps clients to get past that and to connect what it is they truly desire to what it is they already know. So usually we'll start this show off, right? And I'll ask 2 questions. And I love this because I love doing this because I like to catch up. I always say, how was your week? Right. Well, I have to switch it around because we used to be on Friday. So how was your weekend and how will your upcoming week be? Right.
My weekend was good. I spent the weekend doing the thing that I love. I do non-traditional hours. So most weekends I'm actually in my shop or in my office, helping people heal things that need to be healed, which is not always so traditional. I work evening hours, usually from 4 to 7, and I work weekend hours. So Monday through Friday, I'm not in my shop, which gives me access to people in a different kind of in a different kind of a way. My week went really well. I got my I've been studying this core transformation for almost 9 months, and this weekend I learned that I'm actually listed on the national directory.
Oh, good
So
stuff.
yes, I was so excited about that. And this week, I'm excited about this week coming up because I get to do some things that I have been planning as far as promoting and sharing what I do. And I've got a blog started and sending out some emails. So, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, good stuff.
How
Good stuff.
about you, Carl? What's going on?
My weekend has been it's been pretty great. I've been doing some studying over the weekend. Of course, I get to connect with you today. I am a quarter of the way through a degree program for metaphysics, and I get my opportunity on the weekends to indulge in some books and in some good relaxation and expanding my mind. So that's what this weekend has been about. This upcoming week is I'm excited because I have another daughter that has a birthday coming up, and I get to go, spend some time with her this week. So I like to ask that question or those questions, and for us to kind of put that out there, because I know as it pertains to goals, right? As it pertains to the things that we have to do, if we don't write it down, put it down, speak it out loud or something, we keep it here in that space in the mind, we tend to overlook it because there's so much stuff in the mind, right? We tend to just kind of go past it. And I love for us to share where we were and what we have coming up so that we can, not just me and you, but whomever is listening or watches this can also, lend or share into some positive thoughts, some positive energy into the things that we have coming up. So that's part of why I asked that. But today, we're going to talk about some goals. We're going to talk to you about some of the questions and some of the things that we discuss with our clients when they come to us and they ask, they want to reach goals and they have things that they want to accomplish. So we'll talk today about maybe 6 questions, each of us, things that we talk about or discuss with our clients as they come in, as they're looking to reach goals. And also we'll talk to you about how this platform and us coming together to do Let's See Who My Friends Are Again will be helpful and beneficial towards the goals that we have, right? I believe that we're all here on a journey. We all have things to do and places to go. And I believe that our journey consists of really discovering who it is that we truly are, right? How the greatness that flows through us, right? I believe that that is what our journey is. And that's not your journey or that's everyone's journey. So as we, continue on with Let's See Who My Friends Are, I'm hopeful that this encourages you along your journey, but also realizing that this is for my journey. This is for
Amen.
Beverly's journey, right? Amen. And so we're going to talk to you about that today. So go ahead.
I wanted to share with you, when you talked about it being the theme of our lives, when I was a little girl, I lived in Brooklyn, New York, and I went to, it was a difficult time, a difficult space in my mom's life. So we were not in the best place that we had ever been. She was in a big transition, and we just had to have a place to lay our heads down safely, and she made sure we had that. But I was attending this little school that probably would have fallen off the list, and Ben Vereen came to visit us. It was 5th grade graduation, and Ben Vereen was the 5th grade speaker. Now, this was, I don't how many years ago was this, but we learned the theme song to Pippin. And that song became a backdrop to my life. And the words say, join us, leave your fields to flower. Join us, journey for an hour. Join us, journey for an hour or two. It says, we've got magic to do just for you. We've got miracle plays to play. We've got parts to perform, hearts to warm, kings and things to take by storm as we go along our way. So we're inviting you to join us. Indeed. Leave your fields to flower. Come on and hang out with us for an hour or two, and let's make a little magic happen.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I have to learn the words because I like how that feels. I like that.
It feels good. It still feels good. It still feels good.
So before we get started on helping others, Beverly, talk to me about what are some of your goals that you want to share with everyone.
I think that there is so much going on around us. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're impacted by it in ways that we don't always know. I think there is this fear that is overwhelmingly present in our lives. I think that there's this uncertainty of what is happening in our governments, in our communities. And I think all of these things impact what we dream and how we dream. That we either learn to expand our existence beyond what we know, connecting to that part of us that's true and eternal, or we shrink our existence because there's so much going on. It's almost like trying to grow in a thorn field. And every time you expand, something tries to reach out and poke you and make you go smaller again. Ooh. So I think that I want to share with this and this is real for me because this has been part of my dream. Like, I just want to share what I know. This is just because I think there are things that I know that can really help people change their lives. But this was one of those things that I was afraid of doing. for a bunch of different reasons. So I appreciate you having the courage to stand with me. And that's an important part of getting a goal.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I absolutely want to share with you as well that I've experienced that shrinking, because like you say, there's so much going on in the world, and you have that internal desire to grow, to do more, to be more, to have more, like my mentor says, right? To do, be, and have more, because that's intrinsic, that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to grow, to be more, to do more, to have more, to take up more space. And like you say, the world is some kind of crazy out there some days. Excuse me. I don't know other way to put it. The world is some kind of, right? And then you have to, especially when you know the things that you know, and you're in a space of helping others, you're in a space of being aware of other people's limitations and their ability to overcome it. Then you say, oh my goodness, what are my goals? What am I doing? What am I putting out there? So I appreciate you, one, being a part of this as well, because it allows both of us to grow, and it allows both of us the opportunity to reach others with the messages, with the experiences, and the information that we already have. It helps others to really get that information. So part of my goals moving forward into the rest of 2023 is to bring more of my spiritual practices into my hypnotherapy business, right? And this allows me to show my perspective to others that are interested in changing their life, not just their mindset, but changing their life, considering that spirit, God, universal intelligence, whatever it is that you call it, is a major part of that transformation. And this is me taking a bold step into doing that, because initially when I started hypnotherapy, I was like, nobody care about what God got to say about this. People just want to stop smoking. People just want to lose some weight, right? But then as I've grown, as I've evolved, right, I've come to that realization that that is a huge part of our life and how we transform. So I would love, this is part of my goals, is to bring a lot more of that and a lot more of me into my practice, as opposed to just the techniques and such, right?
I think that what you say is so true. And it is one of the reasons that I love the core transformation process, because it brings you back in contact with that part of source, that part of God that is already core within you.
Yeah.
And I love the gentle way that it does it. And I also want to say something you said, help me with the quote. You said, do more, be more, have more.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of times when people hear us as hypnotists or therapists who are working in that mind, I hate to say manifestation, but if you got a better word, in that mind manifestation space, people tend to limit that to, when we say have, as stuff. People tend to think that, everybody is wanting things, but there is a having experience that is beyond a diamond ring, or that is beyond money in the bank. And even to have those things requires a certain amount of internal health, spiritual health, that allows you to create them. We have to remember, when the guy I'm not that great at names right now, but
That's all
when he
right.
created Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
he said what he wanted was for every home to have a computer. A computer.
I got
That okay? Count that.
yeah. I think I'm a computer sometimes.
Okay. Okay. So what he wanted was to share an experience.
Exactly.
And he had a vision that did not look like what it is now. So when we get our vision, it requires us to grow. We have to grow into what our vision is.
Exactly.
And that I just wanted to cover that because I don't want people to think we're just talking about stacking things in the closet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, stacking stuff in the driveway. We're talking about how we grow
Exactly.
to be ready for the things that we want.
Perfect. So what's the first, I come to you or a client comes to you, right? What's the first thing you ask them? What's the first thing you discuss with a client when they come to you?
The first thing I talk about is what is your dream?
Hmm.
Well, and let's talk about this too with me, because sometimes it's a little different with me. Because I am a therapist, sometimes when people come to me, they bring me their heartache, their disappointment, their dissatisfaction. And I have to go in and reorganize those experiences
Yes.
so that people can actually see that their dreams are possible, because nothing hinders a dream like an experience that has not been healed.
Exactly. I'm so glad we are 100% in tune in that, and that the experience that you just explained isn't just to you, meaning that when people come to me, they never come to me saying, Ray, I have a goal, help me reach it, right? They come to me and they say, I got problems. I got a problem. I don't want to do this. I don't want to
I
do
don't
that.
want to do that.
I don't
This
wanna do
happened
this.
to me. Yeah, you're right.
I'm tired of
Absolutely.
this. I'm tired of that, right?
Absolutely right.
And so yes, usually when someone presents to you, it's like all of the stuff that they don't want. And what I've really found to be true is that a lot of times they can't they can't articulate what it is they do want.
My second question is now, what do you want? What do you want?
Exactly. What is that? What is the ultimate goal? What is the ultimate reality, right? What is your ultimate priority? What do you want out of this?
And I always have a B part of this question is, as you tell me the story of what you want, tell me how it feels right now. What happens in your body as you're sharing with me this thing that you've been wanting or feel like you've not been able to have? So in just a discussion of it with someone who's here to support you in getting it, how does it feel when you and I share it in this, what I call sacred space?
Indeed. Yeah. What does that do for you as the person that's the helper, right? What does that information that the client gives to you about how it feels in the moment, what does that information do for you? How does that help you to help them?
It feeds into knowing how closely they identify with what their dream is. It also sifts between what dreams come from the outside in and what dreams come from the inside. Because dreams that come from the inside out, you can't not get them. You may have to reorganize, you may have to reset, you may have to do some work, but you can't not get a dream that's born within you. But dreams that you take in from the outside and try to make them a part of you, they don't always work. They don't always fit. Because they attend to a different part of our heart, they more attend to to a different value place. So we have to reset that value so that you have the opportunity to really know what you want.
And that kind of is my third question is this goal or this thing that you want, is it yours or is it someone else's? I'll say, one of the things that people really equate hypnosis with is quitting smoking, right? A lot of people only think about, hypnosis, you could do that, you could use that to quit smoking, right? And even that, I'll have wives call me and say, my husband need to quit smoking. I'll say, does your husband want to quit smoking? Or do you want your husband
to quit
smoking? Right. And even for myself, I've had opportunities where I've taken on goals because they looked good on somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yes, I do, honey.
And, it's like, I'm going to go to that place that somebody else likes. And I'm like chugging away. And either after a while, I'm like, why am I even heading in this direction? I don't like none of this stuff. I don't like the people with me. I don't like the car I'm driving in. I don't like anything about it. But I'm chugging away because somebody told me that, or I heard, or I perceived that this is where I need to be going. And like you said, you can get there, right? You can absolutely get there and then realize that this isn't where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Right? So that is a very poignant question to ask, like, are these goals yours? Meaning, like you said, are they coming from the inside out? Or are these goals set because you saw some things, you heard some things, right? And they're now working from the outside in.
And that's so easy. Look at how influential Facebook is in our lives. So we're watching people do everything. Everything is happening, and we're observing it. And in our observing it, it looks like we should be
doing it too.
I should do this. Even with this experience we're having, should be doing a Facebook page. I need to be going live. I need to be. And then I realized that's not what I want. I'm not looking for the Facebook fabulous experience. I'm looking to share things that I know have changed my life. And that may not be to the vast Facebook field. It may just be to a few people. But sometimes when you reach that goal, a few is all you need.
Indeed.
Scripture said one or two in agreement, and nothing can be withheld from them.
Indeed. We, like you say, as we kind of look and we see what other people are doing, we do feel that push, like, Oh yeah, we should have a Facebook page. Why don't I have a video popping every 2 days? Because
Okay.
whole girl down the street, she just shake her booty every now and then, and her videos go viral. I want one of those viral. No, I'm not the
No.
shake her booty video, but I, and then you have this internal or the external pressure to do that, or you feel that external pressure to do that. Yet internally, like you said, all I want to do is share what I know. And what I hear or what I understand when someone says that is, I just want to share myself. I want to share
Oh, I
myself.
love that concept. I want to share myself.
Right?
Yeah.
I just want to share who it is that I am. I want to give back. And that's my understanding of giving back to this vast universe, is to share yourself, to share your experiences, to share the wisdom, to share the knowledge that you have, because the universe isn't the tangible stuff, right?
Right.
The universe is truly the intangible. So when there is an opportunity to do so, that we can grasp that opportunity, because it is what we do on a one-on-one basis when we're with a client. We do share ourselves.
We do.
And I believe that even with the social medias and all of that, all of those things in the world, the social media, the cell phones, all the ways that we connect is just with the umbrella of, I want to share myself. I want to share.
What a beautiful way to look at that.
And there, perhaps my experiences, I look at them and I call them valuable, but somebody else, their experiences are just as valuable, because they're doing what it is that they're led to do, which is share and to pour more of themselves into this universe, right?
I love that concept. And what a shift in thinking that is, that even though it looks it can look rough and hard, that people are in the way that they can really trying to share themselves.
And also, and overcoming the fear of sharing yourself.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one. Like that, we had to have the talk. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I love the connection. You said you can't talk to a friend. Well, I can talk to you. You I can talk to you. Well, look, let's grab coffee, girl. Let's talk.
Exactly. Right. The next question, right? And by far, these are not all the questions that we ask. These are just some of the questions that we ask and some of the things that we discuss, with our clients. But moving forward, one of the things that I ask is, are you open to the possibility that you can be free from this?
Woo!
Right? Are you open?
Question. Oh, I've never asked that. Are you open?
Are you open? Are you just open to the possibility? I remember when I was a smoker and I would go to, I was in the military at the time, and the military don't just say, go ahead and do some hypnosis to quit smoking. The military will give you some medications. They'll send you to a doctor. They'll do
those things
therapy.
That they call proven. They know that these things have had success with X amount of people. So they use the path that they know has had success.
Exactly. Right. They'll give you some like I said, medications, all of these things. And I realized that I went into all of those things thinking, I'm not going to quit smoking. Right. And I realized that because I have clients too that come in, and even in their language, it's like, I'm going to have this all my life, or I'm going to deal with this forever. I just want to learn how to deal with it less. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that is a question that, typically stops and say, because it's a yes or no. Are you open
That's a
to the
beautiful question.
possibility?
Yeah, I like that. I may have to include that in my list.
Oh, please do.
Now, mine is what stops you from having it already?
Mm,
Like, what is the thing that keeps you from stepping over the threshold into what it is that you want?
yeah.
What stops you?
What do you find that most people say stops them?
FEAR.
Are
Even when we don't know
people
we're calling it, even when we're calling it by another name.
okay? So that's what I was gonna ask. Are people aware that is fear, that is their fear, or are they calling it other things?
They
And
call it other things. They call it I can't do it. They call it I'm not motivated. They call it I'm not sure. They even sometimes say things like I don't think it's the will of God. As though, so it's really interesting how they frame it, and how they frame it depends on what their background is. And many of us do come from backgrounds that have told us that there are things that we can't have, experiences that we can't have, that we can't grow beyond a certain place.
yay.
So when we say what stops you from having it, it gives us time to examine what the conversation is that you're having with yourself that you're not aware of.
Indeed, indeed,
That you're not
indeed.
aware of.
And that's very poignant, because your circumstances, or whatever circumstances, situations that you are currently in, are because of what you are currently telling yourself, right? What you are conscious of, what you identify with, right?
Yeah. That I remember having a discussion with a person in my life, and I said that we were talking about a house, and I was saying I had started talking about having a house, and at that time I was not in the place that I wanted, and just every day. And the person said to me, "You can't have a house just by talking about it." And instantly, like it just dropped on me. I realized, but you can't have one if you can't talk about it. If you can't talk about it at all, you can't talk about the dream, the goal, in a way that makes it feel good on the inside of you. Your mind interprets the goal as a danger and works to keep that thing from happening in your life.
Yeah, yeah. I know for a fact that those fears and those limitations are not real, right? But they're also developed throughout our childhoods, throughout experiences, things that happen to us, or right, or believing that we're in a world where things happen to us rather than through us and for us, right? That creates certain limitations within the mind, or certain limitations about our ability to achieve whatever we set our mind to. Um, are there, or do you find that there are certain limitations that we hold on to because they're kind of beneficial?
Yeah. There are lots of limitations that we hold on to because they do something for us. Like all of our limitations benefit us in some way, but that's part of our mind.
Yes,
Everything that our mind does, it does for our benefit.
exactly.
It doesn't always do it smoothly. It doesn't always do it softly, but it does it for our benefit. So if we're in a place that's limiting us, our growth, our desires, uh, I keep thinking about, I have a thing in my life that I keep hitting a wall, hitting a wall, hitting a wall. I can't tell you what that is, but as we're having this conversation, my brain is saying, what is it? What's happening? And I can hear it. I'm saying, okay, let me get through this. Let me get through this. Because we need to sit down and talk about that. What is the benefit? And
Yeah.
sometimes we think the thing we want, we're supposed to have, when there's a part of us that just really doesn't want it, but it's not okay to say, I don't want
Yeah. Yeah. I found too that the limitations that we've set on ourselves, or even those fears or any of those things that we set, at one point they were beneficial,
it. That's right.
right? I like to tell clients just a simple story. Like when you were a baby, you took up this much space, right? Just as much space as it took to kind of to hold you, right? And um, then you got a little bit bigger and you take up some space on the ground, and then you start crawling around, and then you start trying to stand up to walk, right? You take your first couple of steps and you're hesitant because you might have tried to take a step the first time and fell down, right? So you say, okay, I'm going to watch where I put my foot this time, or I'm going to hold on to something this time. And as we've kind of grown and progressed, experiences and things have happened to us, and we've created certain boundaries within our mind, like, you know what, I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to do that thing because that thing right now in my life is not beneficial. But as soon as you either create a goal, because a lot of times people don't have goals, they don't have an understanding of where it is they want to be, what they want to do, be, or have, right? So once you create that, or you change from what your goal used to be to a newer, bigger, more expansive goal, you also have to change the parameters of those limitations or remove them completely.
You know what? Your example was a beautiful one, because that little baby living in the house with his parents only needs that much space.
Exactly.
And then he only needs a limited space on the floor. But there comes a point where his need for more space makes his parents say, I've got to go to something else.
Indeed.
So it's not just that he has his goal independently of taking up more space. His goal, his independent personal goal of having more room, moves the people who care for him to create bigger goals and experiences for their lives.
Indeed, indeed. And that's a whole nother conversation about how together we work to accomplish the things or not accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves. That we are never just an island by ourselves going towards, our life's goals and life's journeys. And, that's another limitation that we kind of put on ourselves as we're working towards our goals. Like, I got to do this by myself. I got to load the YouTube channel. I got to talk about it. I got to get the information. I got to do all of this stuff and see the clients when they want to hang out. What you talking about, right? And then the reality is no, you don't have to do all of those things.
You do not. And some of what you want to do there's somebody saying, no, I really want to learn how to load the YouTube. I really want to learn how to be able to do this engineering space.
Yeah.
So you can do the part that you do. So if you let me work with you and let me learn, I'll let you learn, and together
we can both move forward in our
can both
journey.
move.
Perfect. What's another question that you ask your clients? I think we're on like number 5 or so.
So the other one that
Or-
I ask is, what resources will you need to make your dream come true?
Woo!
Because you can be an airplane pilot all you want to, but if you don't do the right resources, follow the right protocol, if you take the plane, it's not going to have the outcome you want. So it's best for you to figure out, what do you need to get from here to there?
Indeed.
And how do we do that? You know, and that's part of the thing. When a girl starts school, first year of college, you say, what do you want to be? She says, a doctor. She goes 4 years. She says, what do you say? What do you want to be? She says, a doctor. She goes another 4 years. She's still in college, but the next time you hear about it, without even noticing the time, you hear somebody saying, Dr. So-and-so, and she said, that's me. That's me. She hasn't left her studies yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But she had to use the resources around her to get to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like to ask, as a follow-up to, are you open to the possibility of letting go, of being free from whatever your obstacles are? I like to ask, are you willing, right? Are you willing?
Ooh.
Are you willing to let it go?
Are you willing to let go?
Are you willing to let it go? Sometimes we hold on so tightly. One of the things, and I gave my understanding of like social media, I had to really change the way that I looked at social media. And I really had to let go of what I thought it was. Right.
Okay.
Initially, when I got on social media, I'm like, this is bad news. This is bad news. This is bad news. We could not possibly, it cannot be good. This cannot be good, because real people like to see each other's faces and talk to each other. I'm someone that's very, that I love face to face. I love being in someone's space. And then, of course, 2020, the pandemic happens and no one was allowed to be in each other's faces, right? Or spaces. And I really had to do some work about social media and its ability to keep us connected without there being this breakdown, without there being this breakdown on how we can connect or breakdown in communication. And of course, we've watched it evolve from, one thing into the next. And of course, that there's some negative aspects of social media, as there are negative aspects of everything. But at first, for a long time, I wasn't willing to let go of my idea of what it was. I'm like, no, I don't know. No, I don't like it. I don't want it, and that negative belief and that negative mindset around it has left me exactly where I am right now in social media. The same friends that I've had, right? Not having expanded my network and those things as it pertains to the positive things in my life.
And
so,
two things I want to share based on that. And one is that happens with our heartaches and our disappointments and our traumas as well. We sometimes develop an identity that's based on what has wronged us.
Yes.
what we've experienced that has harmed us, so that when we move forward to begin the healing, we don't always give ourselves permission to let go of the pain.
Yeah.
But I teach people when we're breathing, because breath work is huge in the work that I do. You can't breathe and cry at the same time. If you're crying, you are not breathing.
No, that's right.
So you can't be hurt and healed. And you can aspects of yourself. But if we're working on a particular thing and we're healing it, you have to be willing to let that go. And here's the formula. No matter how awful that thing was, if it's not happening in the moment that we're talking, you did the thing.
You did
You
it.
survived it. You did it. And because you survived it, you can heal from it and thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that even with the deepest trauma, the darkest experiences that clients have had, or even myself, we tend to forget that it's over, right? And not only is it over, that we are victorious in that circumstance because we're still here, because we are seeking healing from it, right? So I absolutely, I'm glad that that's something that you brought up, that it is, if it's not happening right now, regardless of what it is, if it's not happening right now, then you are already, like you said, you done the thing, you won, right?
That's right. Now, how we respond to it, we can adapt, change, restore, renew. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And even that work is loving, gentle work.
Exactly.
We are better when we agree to go in and massage and heal than when we just let the pain gather.
Mm-hmm.
And once I right, this just came to me. You're a trainer. You know that the pain of stretching, that the stretch relieves the pain. So if the legs are tight and cramped, the stretching relieves the pain.
Yeah.
Goals are us
Stretching. Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it. So we should be down to like our sixth question. So tell me, what's that last question that you wrote down that you ask clients or you discuss with clients?
What steps do you have to take to make your dream come true?
Excellent.
What's the first step you need to take? I love to share this with me. I told you I was in training when I learned hypnosis, and everybody had gotten up. We were in the woods somewhere. It was a beautiful experience, beautiful healing experience. And we were in the woods somewhere, and I had been through so many different experiences, and I had gotten up to really close to 300 pounds. And the trainer was sitting outside, and we were looking at this beautiful tree line, and everybody got up and left the class. And I didn't move. I just sat right there. And he turned around and said to me, "What do you want?" I'm laughing as I say this now. And I looked at him and said, "I want my sexy back." And that was a really interesting answer for the person that I was then, because the answer in itself was so far outside of the box that I had lived in. As it was coming out my mouth, I was saying, "What?" But he started the process, and he said, look at the tree." And I
Yeah.
looked over at the tree and he said, what do you see? Well, we went through the whole process with that. The interesting thing was when I got back home, I was laying in the bed, maybe about a week later, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to go for a walk? And I thought, where did that come from? Where did it come from? But that was the very first step
Mhm.
in my journey of losing that weight. And it's still my step. It's my first step in keeping it off. It's my
Yeah.
it's my first step in maintaining what I
Well, I'll say this for the people because she's not gonna say it. When we went dancing, she had her thighs out. I'm just gonna say
it's easy to stay in the box.
it. She got some sexy back. I don't give
But
Oh,
that's sexy. Don't ever forget. Our sexual sensualness is a fire for our lives.
absolutely.
It powers.
Mm.
Powers. That's a different
Yes.
show.
That's a
We gotta talk
whole
about
different.
that.
Listen,
We gotta
yes,
talk about that.
we
We gotta
need to.
talk
That's
about
on
that.
the list.
Great car.
That's on the list. But it absolutely is. It absolutely is. One of the last questions, or my last question that I wrote down is, when this obstacle is removed from your life, what can you now be, do, and have, right? And I like to explain that, like we said before, that have is not necessarily something tangible, but experiences, right? What new feelings, what new way of going through the world will you have? I really like to get my clients consumed with what it is that they get in return. Because I'll say this, therapy is not fun. It is not, I've never woken up on the day of a therapy appointment or, with a coach or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I get to talk about my feelings today, right? And I'm a Cancer, I'm all about feelings, right? So, and I realized that, that the journey to the thing that you desire isn't necessarily always fun and games, right? That what does fuel you is the excitement that you have for what it is that you're working towards, right? And if you can get clear, totally clear about your goals, meaning remove obstacles from the goals, remove the fear, remove the things that you say, oh, I can't do it, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, people, all of those things for. You remove all of that and you just are at your goal, right? You're just in that space. That awareness or that feeling alone, that bringing that to your consciousness alone is sufficient at times, right? To overcome whatever that feeling is, whatever that limitation, whatever that fear is that's currently stopping you. So that is a big part of when I consult with a client. We move this obstacle out your way. Tell me about that beautiful life, that new wonderful existence or personal reality that you now have. And and to operate from there. I used to watch this show called Queen of the South. They need to send me some money because I keep sending people to the show, right? But I used to watch this show called Queen of the South, and it's one of those shows about, powerful woman. She's like in the drug cartel and all of this stuff, right? But what I loved about the show is that, like, the first episode, an image of her future self would show up when she gets herself in these sticky situations, an image of her future self, like already a boss with the suit on, already in charge, and all of those things, is the person that she takes directions from, right? Is the person that she takes instructions from, not the current circumstance itself, but she draws from the person who she will eventually become to give her the advice, right? So I always say that you ask that person for the advice, right? You ask that person for the direction, the person that's already living in that space, in the goal that you create for yourself.
And I think that's the space that we're in. Sometimes when we need a coach, when you need a therapist, is when you cannot see or connect to that space within yourself.
Yeah.
When you can't see past the limits or the visions, when you have that furriness, that fogginess, that there's something out there, but there's something right here.
Yeah.
And then my job as a core transformation specialist, as a hypnotist, as a therapist, is to remove those barriers and help you step into what it's like to already have what it is that you want.
Yeah. I hope, like, if nothing else, the people that are listening truly feel what I feel, which is both of our love and joy that we get in the things that we do and in helping others to reach their goals, right? When we talk off this platform, I know for a fact that you're in what you do, right? That that you pour, that you pour yourself into clients, into your work, into being and doing and having what or the things that you set here in your mind that you want to do, be, and have.
These are not things I practice. These are things I live.
Right?
This is how I live my life.
Exactly.
So yeah, I know from being with you and sharing in your life that that's true as well.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that we got a chance to do this. I do want us to leave a final thought, right? A final idea. Let's say somebody been listening to all of this and they say, well, wrap it up, girl, wrap it up. Tell me something that I can.
Set a goal, write it down. It does not have to be called a goal. It can be called a thing that you want.
Yeah.
I want a new pair of shoes. I want 30 pounds lighter.
Perfect. Write it down. One of the things, my final thought that I want to leave you guys with is that those desires that you are having, right? Like how Beverly says, she said, don't you want to take a walk, right? Those little voices, those desires, I want my sexy back, right? Whatever comes from within you, I want to say that they are desires that are divine, right?
Absolutely.
They don't just come from your mind space, right? They are divine. They come from the universal intelligence of the universe.
I don't know if you can hear it, but it's pouring down right here. I mean, it's pouring down. So if we get disconnected,
I hear you.
It's because of where I am. Okay. It's
You
because of
know,
where I am. Sometimes when the weather gets rough, we do get disconnected.
for sure. But yes, definitely that those desires that come from within are the prompting of the spirit that says, be back on your journey, right?
Yes.
Be back on that space of self-discovery, because when you do have a goal, what ends up happening is that you end up proving to yourself how freaking amazing you are,
You are.
right? Because usually a goal is something that you can't right now even think about, fathom how it is that you're going to get there, or at least that's how your goal should be. So
I
ridiculously
agree with you
big,
on
you're
that.
like, it's going to require me to grow. So so when you have those desires, I say you owe it to yourself to look into them and to write them down, you know, to start moving towards them, and start moving towards the inspiration that you're feeling, because those desires are truly coming from your highest space, right? It's coming from your higher self, from your God mind. It's coming from that space that just wants and desires the best for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great
so
car.